So, dear Dhamma practitioners, so we're going to start our session now. Be comfortable yourself and relax your body and keep your neck head straight in one line and your back straight, and gently close your eyes and focus your mind to this bell sound. And also, while you're focusing to sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, relax your breathing. And just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, before we start our session, it is important yourself to understand the background regarding practicing this meditation and why we have to practice this meditation. So, when it comes to life, we learn a lot of things, and the education or our knowledge is our protection. So mostly when we learn things, as you know, through this schooling our life, whatever the knowledge we gain, it is become very limited. It belong to time, and it belong to the space, it belong to environment. So whatever you learn, you cannot use it all the time. And whatever you teach to your children, and it's a year by year, time to time, you have to change, and they have to keep chasing and accumulating and go behind the knowledge. There is no end. And even our ancestors, forefathers, the whatever they have done, whatever the wisdom they had, it's not going to be valid for today. So then what you have to understand, the conventional knowledge or the education is necessary, but it is very limited. It has a very limited capacity to help for our life. Another thing is, and according to the latest research, what it say, whatever you learn today, it is only for valid only for 5 years. After 5 years, you have to learn something new to survive. So mostly we spend our time, our life to accumulate this conventional level of knowledge and education. But when it comes to Vipassana, this knowledge is not going to depend on the time or the space or the according to the age or the environment or even according to your existence. So eons by eons, that whatever you carry with yourself in this samsaric journey, if you practice this properly all the time, this is going to be the universal wisdom. And as you know, then according to the records, there are 28 Buddhas already, that even more than 28, but there are recorded names come to 28 Buddhas that with the Gautama the Buddha. And this all the Buddhas teach the same thing. See how beautiful it is. All the Buddha, it is not going to be changed. So then in the future, there are many other Buddhas going to come. So that Buddha is also going to teach the same. So then if you learn this properly, so wherever in this samsaric journey, in case if you not able to gain the wisdom in this very lifetime, but the time that you spending yourself within sitting and practicing this samatha meditation and vipassana meditation, going to become great investment for your samsaric journey. You don't need to think like that way. It is kind of like an investment. You have to practice always thinking this is the last time, last moment you're going to hit the goal. There is no second chance for you. But in case if you miss the moment, it's going to become a great profitable skill for your life. So that is one of the important thing that you have to remember all the time, that whatever we have around us, this everything going to go away. Even our relationships, even our families. And just by yourself, you have experience. Look, I always think myself, that I born in Sri Lanka and I left everything and time to time went to place. But today it's completely new environment. And who knows tomorrow? The same thing with you also. So whoever your loved ones that you're going to, they're not going to be with you. So then always remember, through this life journey, one of the important thing that you have to keep with you, this practicing meditation, it really going to help for you. It is a kind of like the one of the greatest medicine for the any kind of the conventional disease that we gain through this up and down in this life. So then always have the confident conviction, the faith regarding the practice that you do. You need it. With the kind of like uncomfortable mind, that without the clear intention, it is sometimes to gain the result or going in this path is very difficult. Why? Because yourself, you have to walk in this path. So then remember yourself that whatever you practice with your mind, it's going to be forever with that until you attain to the Nibbana, it's going to be. So as example, look, that time to time, we drop our body. But sanskara or mental formation or the phenomena, the habitual patterns we carry with us. So then if you develop a great practice with this samatha and vipassana, it's going to be with you wherever you go. And it will help moment by moment, drop by drop, drop by drop, how the ocean get nourished through all from the four directions that all the rivers come to it. Same like wherever you go with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. So whatever the perception come to you, through that any perception, it doesn't matter that comfortable or uncomfortable. It doesn't matter. It's a good environment or difficult environment. So whatever the situation, incline or decline, so it doesn't matter, up and down. So whatever the situations come to you, still it able to nourish your deeper awareness. That is the good thing. So then as a human being, so remember that all the knowledge and things that we accumulate around us, we have to drop time to time according to the place. But this practice that you do, you're going to take it with you. So when it comes to that, one of the greatest thing that you can keep with your heart is the tranquility meditation and vipassana meditation. So the tranquility meditation means calming down your mind and bring your mind to exist, that have that undisturbed awareness, and also make your mind usable. See, in day-to-day life, sometimes ourselves, sometimes our mind we cannot use. So then when you develop this samatha meditation, chitta bhavana, so the bhavana means cultivating your mind. So the cultivating means it take out all the unnecessary things and it allow to settle down with whatever the necessary environment it should be. So like as example, farming. So cultivating. So when you going to do farming, what the very first thing that you do, you clean the field, and then you take out all the unnecessary weed and unnecessary things and allow that whatever the things that you want to grow. So the mind also the same. It allow you to take out all the greed, hatred, and the delusion. So once you purify from the greed, hatred, and the delusion, that your mind become undisturbed, that your mind become clear, and your mind become usable. So once you have the usable mind, we go to vipassana level. So in the vipassana level, it is very important. You have to drop all the things. You have to drop all the things, even the techniques. Without even having a technique or without having any kind of meditation method, with very crystal clear mind, and without even effort, because if you have the effort, remember, tranquility meditation, you use the effort. In vipassana, no effort, because if you use the effort, still you are in tranquility state. So in the vipassana level, there is no effort, but you are fully awake and you see things very clearly. So in conventional meditation, it will help you to recognize things as it is without any misperception or misunderstanding. So that is not enough, because once you see something as it is, it doesn't bring any kind of wisdom to us. So that is the difference with the Buddha. So as example, just imagine, we see this as a bottle of water, recognizing very clearly. That recognition become very clear. So that will help to understand. That is the samatha. See things as it is. And sometimes if the mind become busy with the greed, hatred, or the delusion, and maybe sometimes we take this as something else. Maybe we can take it as a weapon. So see, then you don't see this as a water bottle. You see it as a weapon and you hit somebody when you get angry. So even at home, sometimes when you get angry, people, destroy things and hit from even their own the plate when they eating. Sometimes when they get angry, they hit from the plate. I have seen. So they cannot recognize it. And even when they get angry, oh, with the greed, hatred, and the delusion, or when the mind become polluted, husband, wife cannot recognize each other. Children, parents cannot recognize each other. Neighbors cannot recognize each other. Even human cannot recognize each other. That's why whole world need to practice tranquility meditation. It make you comfortable for your life. See, see, look at the world. People cannot recognize. They see something else. That's why it happened to us also. It happened to you also. Nothing wrong with it. But that is the world in nature, but there is a way that you can get out of it. The thing is that why this you need this, because once you don't recognize things as it is, what will happen? And you make mistakes. That mistake will make you kind of like take you to the sadness, worry, unhappiness, disappointment. And your husband, wife, you cannot recognize, you get mad and you cannot recognize, this is my husband, this is my wife. We both live together. And then you get mad and you blame. It's kind of like somebody like an enemy. And how about you? Then you settle down, your anger go away. Then how the next day that you can see that person face, because yesterday you blame so badly. And your parents and brothers, sisters, you get mad and you blame each other. And how are you going to see the face next day? Because deeply you feel sad, worry, shame. That's why this tranquility, especially in day-to-day life, we need this. When we don't have this, we misunderstand. It happens everywhere. Look at the world. Even it can happen to, it doesn't matter you become a president or you become a chairman in a company. It can happen. You cannot recognize what is happening. You don't see. It's you go somewhere else because your mind is not clear. So that's why when it comes to tranquility meditation, remember that is the one of the most important benefit that you can have in this conventional life. So then you develop undisturbed life. So you have tranquility meditation, undisturbed mind, it will help to have an undisturbed life for yourself, for others. Once you have undisturbed mind, then you go to vipassana. So vipassana is another way we call analytical meditation, panya bhavana, or insight meditation. Because in conventionally, whatever we see, whatever we take, whatever we experience, and sometimes it become kind of like a dream. But analytical meditation, vipassana meditation, panya bhavana is take you to the depth of your experience, and it will show you the reality. So in tranquility meditation, you recognize things as it is. In vipassana level, you recognize how things come to be as they are. So that understanding will help you to stay without clinging, without resisting, without rebuilding, reforming, or without holding to anything. And when you have a moment without holding, without clinging, without harboring to any thoughts or any moment or any feelings, any thoughts, any desire, in that very moment, you become free. Free from what? Free from your own thoughts. So that is the moment your transformation going to happen. That is the moment from this conventional, you're going to transform to your wisdom. And that is what called liberation or the Nibbana. So it is very possible as a human being. This wisdom inside you is like a gem. When you take a raw gem and then you don't put anything from outside, but what you do, you take out all the unnecessary parts and make it more valuable and make it more usable and make it more beautiful, cutting that and taking out all the unnecessary. So the Nibbana or the enlightenment also the same. It is inside you. So meditation means it allows you to slowly cut and take out unnecessary part and allow to sharp deeper inside your true nature. It covered from the greed, hatred, and the delusion accumulated through this samsaric journey. So then, when it comes to tranquility meditation, in the beginning, don't try to go to past or the future. That is where that our greed, hatred, and the delusion recharge. So then what you have to do? You come to a moment to stay in one place. We call it the primary mental object or the nimitta. So in front of your nose and your upper lip area, you focus to the sensation of your inhalation, exhalation without thinking, without dreaming, without make anything happen, holding or without doing it kind of like exercise. Completely detached from interfering to inhalation, exhalation, just allow it to happen naturally. And while it happens, just observe and recognize inhalation as inhalation, exhalation as exhalation. So that is the first step that you have to do. Then it is nothing to do with any religion, any dogma. So it is just your own inhalation, exhalation. Just settle down yourself and allow it to happen and observe and recognize. And then once the mind settle down with inhalation, exhalation, and just get a mental note following entire continuation of the inhalation, exhalation, knowingly, this is the beginning, this is the middle, this is the end. Follow the whole breath body. So the breath body mean one inhalation or one exhalation from beginning to end without missing any part. Just observe. So while you observing like this way, you may see some inhalation, exhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold, so like that. Just recognize. So whatever the behavior and whatever the nature, just recognize. Remember, each and every inhalation, exhalation, unique, has its own way. So just recognize. Don't try to maintain. Don't try to categorize. Don't try to just regulate the way you want. No, just you recognize things it as it is. See, that is the tranquility nature of the mind, recognizing as it is. And once the mind settled down, we go to vipassana level. So in tranquility meditation, there are more steps that we can go, but to because of the very limited time, we go to vipassana level. So in the vipassana level, drop all the names that we used to follow: inhalation, exhalation, beginning, middle, end, long, short, heavy, soft. Don't focus to that anything. Just get into the sensation and be with the sensation. It doesn't matter whatever the inhalation or exhalation. Recognize the sensation. And once you recognize the sensation, slowly start to follow it. Then you will see. So whatever the sensation arise, moment by moment, it change. So when you recognize the sensation change, Now you understand the impermanent. That is one of the worldly nature within us. It everywhere. Just be very limited to yourself and observe. And you recognize the impermanent. And when the sensation change, so because of the sensation you feel kind of like a comfort, satisfaction. When the inhale happen, exhale happen, and with that sensation you feel satisfaction. But that also not going to be there. Moment by moment, moment by moment, that also go. So then every feeling has an unsatisfactory nature. Another thing is, no one doing this for me and for you, for anybody in the world. No one doing it. It happened according to necessary conditions inside and outside. So as example, we observing the inhalation, exhalation in case that how about that my lungs or the inside my body or the throat or the nose or something happen, then I cannot experience that same way. See that the inside conditions should be right to experience this. So like that, that there is no anybody doing this. It happened according to the cause and effect. So then there is no self within the feelings or the sensation that you experience or the awareness that you recognize. So just be with the sensation and slowly follow it. And in that follow, that you have to be 100% comfortable without using any effort to catch something or hold something or be with something. To keep the 100% freedom and always newness. Whatever the mistake you make, forget about it. Right away, go back to it. Right away, go back to awareness. So that way, you will see moment by moment, maybe not for a long time, but maybe for a 1 second. For a 1 second, maybe you will experience something totally detached from everything, from inside, outside. And that total freedom, that if you are able to get into 1 second, you will never go back to your old existence. So with that, so let's practice a little bit. So your right palm on your left and neck head straight in one line and be comfortable with your posture. Scan head to toes and say Supateva, oh, may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment, with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment. This is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime. And detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation, exhalation, and then later recognize the sensation and go with the vipassana wisdom. So deeply and gently breathe in, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation in front of your nose and your upper lip area. Just allow your inhalation, exhalation to happen itself and just recognize. This is inhalation, this is exhalation. Let everything to completely settle down. Just keep focus to the sensation. Follow the entire continuation of the inhalation, exhalation. Also, you may experience some inhalation, exhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold. Just get a mental note. Now keep attention to the sensation or the feelings. Just recognize impermanent, unsatisfactory nature and selflessness within your own experience. Bring your attention to your body. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also, as far as you can, through galaxies, other planets, stars, reminding yourself like this with clear intention. Mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light to your backside, to your left side, and to your right side. Downward and upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance, or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest. wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, when it comes to our day-to-day life, this meditation practice, you have to synchronize your lifestyle. So this sitting practice, it is not only for sitting. This is a moment kind of like you practice and you sharp your mind. And when you develop this method, the important thing is you develop the awareness. So when it comes to ordinary life, we mostly try to develop the memory. We try to memorize things. But in the Vipassana meditation, it's not going to develop your memory. So the very nature of the mind, samsara, is memorizing. So one of the behavior of the karma, also the memory. So mind always attached to things, always try to memorize things. When you have the memory, you remind it. So just remember, the very nature of the mind, you attach to memorize, and now you collect the memory, and once you have the memory, what will happen? Knowingly or unknowingly, it come back. So don't blame to the mind. Why? Because intensely you are the one who memorize it. You command yourself to memorize. So once you memorize, it become memory. Once it become memory, the very nature of the memory is repetition, remind. If anything you cannot remind, it is not memory. So whatever you can remind, it become memory. This is the thing. So last year, listen this very carefully. This is not a kind of complicated, because the Dharma is very simple, beautiful. So last year you went somewhere, and even before you go for a picnic, sometimes you say, let's go, because this is going to be our memory maybe when we get old. So let's go. So see, now your intention to memorize, and you go somewhere and you enjoy, and while you enjoying, you took pictures, and then you took souvenirs, and then many things, collected little items to remember. So you say, while you are in the picnic, you say, oh, I want to buy this, I want to take this, let's take something from here. Why? To remember. So even there, that you see Los Angeles, people go to Hollywood, and they have the Hollywood t-shirt. Oh, I visited the Hollywood, or take a t-shirt. I want to remember. It is this going to become a good memory. So now you enjoy and you came. Now in this quarantine time, you at home. Now you are sitting, and then you start to look what you did in last year. And then you saw this. And now you start to think about it. So that is the memory. You memorize. And that whatever you memorize, now you think. In that very moment, you are in a dream. In that very moment, because it happened in the last year. Now you are completely different person, different environment, different situation. So what you do now? You pull back that memory, and then you living with it. While you living, you are living in a dream. It's a daydream. So that moment is illusion. That is, see, that now you understand what is the samsara, why we are in the samsara means. So because once you collect once you are in the memory, you are not conscious, because consciousness deactivate when you memorize. When there is no memory, but you are in alert, in that moment you are conscious. That called awareness, because very nature of the awareness, not collecting memory, you just experience. That is the vipassana. So that is the vipassana level of experience. Try to take you to that level. So then in life, you don't need the memory. So the memory always take you to unhappiness. So as now see, last year you went for a vacation. In this year, thinking about last year, you comparing. So the comparison, very nature, another thing, the very nature of the samsara, comparison, compare. See, now you comparing to what? To your memory. So in that very moment, you lose your awareness in this very moment. So when you comparing, what will happen as a result? You become worried, sad, unhappy. Because there's no two moments going to be the same. Each and every moment completely different. How you know? So analytical meditation, when it go to vipassana level of observation, your inhalation, exhalation, see that in tranquility meditation you saw. When you see some inhalation, exhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold, you experience yourself each and every inhalation, exhalation different. So see, even one breath in your life not going to be similar. Two breath not going to be similar. breath by breath has a different way. So then how about the life? Because the breath by breath build this life. So do you think then the life going to be the same? No. But what happening? Mentally, we develop an idea, concept, that, and we try to match things. So then that is where there's the similarity and the repetition start to follow. So then now you have to understand very nature of the samsara, very nature of the mind. And conventional mind is memorizing. So crazy for memory. Go always try to memorize, memorize, memorize. But in Buddhism, it's nothing to do with the memorizing. So what the Buddha said, forget about memorizing. Vipassana level of the experience is awareness. So just now remember yourself. One person, the person A, living in memory. The person B, living in awareness. So when something happened, in this very moment, something happened. So one person living in last year, whatever the vacation, thinking about it, dreaming about it, how things happen. And other person be in awareness in this very moment. Or if something happened, who going to survive? The person who have the awareness. So then each and every moment in your life, you need the awareness. So the meditation try to develop that awareness, not the memory. So the Buddha's nature is that drop the memory. When you have the awareness, you don't need memory. When you don't have the awareness, that is where you depending from the memory. So then develop life yourself. Whatever the moment that you have, be aware. Have that moment to 100% as much as you can. And do your best for the moment. And that is the beauty of the awareness. It allows you to live to the maximum in that very moment. That is where the awareness become more stronger. And that is where you get the highest benefit out of the awareness. So you live the moment to the highest as much as you can. So in that very moment, you are complete. In that completion, you don't make any mistakes. So when you don't make any mistake, in that completion, you bring the satisfaction. So in that satisfaction, you have the confidence. So that confidence, that satisfaction will uplift your greater, the joy inside you. So the moment of that living, it brings the highest and the maximum level of experience with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. So that is where the awareness take you. So that is what the Buddha taught. But in day-to-day life, we afraid for awareness. We afraid to reality. We like because the dreams makes us comfortable. That is the truth. That is the truth within all of us. The dreams brings us the joy. But when it comes to the reality, you have to be so strong to experience the beauty of the reality. So no matter what, you're not going to change anything, or no, you're not going to resist anything. The beauty of the reality is accepting. Beauty of the reality is accepting. So awareness itself take you to a moment, no matter what, without any condition, you become a person to accept. That's it. You not resist, you're not going to change, you're not going to interfere with anything. Just completely. You accept. So then in day-to-day life, have you ever tried even one single breath just to accept it? See, when it comes to this pranayama and a lot of breathing meditation techniques, we manipulating, we controlling, we holding, we maintain. Of course, you gain some benefit out of it, but it is very conventional. It is very physical, and it is related to memory. There's nothing else. But once you develop the awareness and you become a person completely become independent, that is where the Buddha dropped all the concept or the ideas about the gods. Because once you become aware that that awareness is the highest, and that awareness is the master. But when you don't have the awareness, the horoscope, time, the stars, and all the gods and all the demons, the everything become important. So when the Buddha attained to the enlightenment, and he didn't attain to enlightenment with the memory, he completely become independent and he completely become free from everything. And he attained to enlightenment even without God. So that's why in the Buddhism there is no creator kind of like, no, there are many, but it doesn't make any sense when once you become aware. But once you're not aware, any demon can dance in your head. Even the shadow become something. So then remember, then your life, focus to develop the awareness. And when you become aware, the very greater challenge is dropping the memory. That is the challenge. But when you develop the vipassana, so through the tranquility meditation, you first recognize, experience the memory of the mind. And then vipassana, you drop it. So it like as example that you heard the example. The once you use the raft or the boat to cross the river, remember, no need to carry the boat or the raft wherever you go. Just leave it there. So the Dhamma also like that. So your life also, life experience also like that. So because once you start to carry, and there is a story called Five Idiot and the Boat. So what happened? They crossed the river, and then after that, five of them start to carry this heavy boat in their shoulder. So then the village people start to ask, where you go with this? What happened? What is this? No, the boat help us to cross the river. Oh, this is very important for us. That's why we came to this side. So then the people are, so is there any river? No. We're going to keep it with us because it is very important. It help us to cross the river. And the thing is, they had the heaviness on their shoulders. And of course it helped them. But remember to just leave it there. So as example, the Buddha attained to enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. So then once he attained to the enlightenment, 7 days, without even any single blink, he appreciated the Bodhi tree looking at it. And have you heard after that, Buddha ever went to that Bodhi tree and spent the time there thinking, oh, this is the place I attain to enlightenment? Have you ever heard? Look, it is good for you to do a case study and research. And no, because he attained to the enlightenment, he appreciate the moment and he move away. So for us, why we need the memory? Because we don't spend the moment consciously. We always because we live in the memory, and because of we lose the moment, and as a result of that, what is happening, we have a habit to go with the memory. We collecting memory. So then what will happen? The moment you collect the memory, you lose the awareness. So then you have to reverse the pattern. Drop the memory, be aware. Drop the memory, be aware. Then it becomes sharp. Your awareness becomes sharp, 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 sharp. That sharpness, bring the clarity. That is what you need. Because once your mind becomes very clear and aware, you able to recognize all the perception and all the form, feeling, sensation, formations, and recognitions very clearly in the very first level as it is, and that experience will lead you to recognize things, how things come to be as they are. So don't afraid to release the memory. Don't afraid to free your mind from the memory. Don't addicted to collect the memory. So when it come to the vipassana, that's why, see the technique that we use, that let go everything, release everything, and moment by moment, keep the newness. So that is what you need. Even in very conventional success, that is what you need. Remember, the experience doesn't mean the memory. Experience is something totally different than the memory. Because the experience you mastering, and the experience will lead you to awareness. Experience not lead you to memory. So then in day-to-day life, so whatever you do in the very first level, remember to develop the awareness. And remember to drop the memory. And that way, day by day, when you're able to master that, you will recognize. You become free from your own mind. That freedom make you kind of like a very little, because for the moment you live, not you forget that all the history about you. Don't afraid for that. Becoming in very little in a single moment, you become so powerful. It kind of like this. When you become conscious awareness, you become in front of the sun, just a candlelight. You know the difference? In front of the sun, you become like a candlelight. Because why? Because the sun is like the memory. The you awareness just only this moment. That the sun at night cannot give the light, but the candlelight has power to give the light at night. You become like that. In the darkness, you able to, your awareness become more useful. In the darkness, your awareness becomes so powerful. Another thing is, when you become aware that your memory is kind of like an ocean, but when you become aware, when you develop the mindfulness, you become just a drop of water, just a drop of water, tip of a grass. You know, the ocean just reflect the whatever in that surface level. But the tip of the grass, the drop of the water, reflect entire sky. So try nowadays. So this is the winter time, you know, early morning, go out and just see one drop of water without disturbing to it. Start to examine. You will see it will reflecting entire sky. That is the power of the drop of water. But the ocean so big, but it doesn't have that capacity. So like that, remember, when you become aware, you become so different and you become so powerful than you think. But when you become memory, you become so limited. Maybe you can see it huge, but you become very limited. So it is your choice. Becoming huge and become limited, and becoming smaller, tiny, and becoming unlimited. So it is up to you. So with that, I bless upon you everyone. With this good practice, may all of you be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to you, may no difficulties come to you, may no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinasatu mate bhavatantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ittavata cha ammihi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idammi punya kammang asavakkaya vahang otu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.